What's good, everyone? It's 23MJ88 back with another video today, and for today's Throwback Thursday video, we will be taking a look at the Air Jordan 16 Retro Performance Review. So starting out with the design of the Air Jordan 16, it actually was designed by Wilson Smith, and it was inspired by a marching band boot. As you can see, it has a gaiter here, which you can take off for on-court, and for off-court, you can wear the gaiter, and it has a magnetic clasp enclosure with the Velcro at the bottom, so you can take this off when you're on court and wear it like so. But it was designed after a marching band boot with the gaiter upper, and then it was also inspired by the Air Jordan 11, as you can see here, with the patent leather tongue and toe box as well. So as far as the traction goes on the Air Jordan 16, I actually really liked it, and I was quite surprised because it is a translucent outsole, but as you can see here, there are some pods that are herringbone, and then some more kind of braille pieces on the lateral portion as well. And as far as performance goes, you can see there is dust, but I didn't really have any issues slipping out. I did wipe them every now and then, but I was really surprised because even though they collected dust, they didn't really cause any issues for me. So I was quite surprised on the traction on the Air Jordan 16, and for being 21 years old now, I didn't really have high expectations going in, but I was definitely pleasantly surprised. So as far as the traction goes on the Air Jordan 16, I would have to rate it an 8.5 out of 10. So as far as the cushion on the Air Jordan 16, in the heel it has a blow molded air unit, and they have these pillars that kind of go around, as you can see. It offers a little bit of support. And then in the forefoot, there is a full-length Zoom airbag, which honestly, I didn't really feel at all. I could definitely feel some compression in the heel, but as far as the Zoom goes, it's not what I remembered. I did have the Cherrywood pair back in the day that I played basketball in, and those were super comfy, but these being the retro from 2016, they weren't the same. Like I said, there was definitely some compression in the heel, but I really didn't feel the Zoom airbag at all. And then the midsole, I believe, is Phylon. And for me, it was a bit of an underwhelming setup, at least for on court. As far as the forefoot goes, it's very low to the ground. Like, I felt like I was on the ground. I was playing in these for about 2 hours, and then before I left the gym, I threw on the KD14, and they felt a lot higher off the ground than these. But just as far as the forefoot cushion, I play a lot on my forefoot, and I didn't really feel anything. So it was a little underwhelming. So for me, as far as the cushion goes on the Air Jordan 16, I'm going to have to give it a 7 out of 10. So as far as materials go on the Air Jordan 16, you have a mesh side panel and then synthetic suede wrapping around that. And then working your way down, you have leather that wraps all the way around. And on this pair from 2016, it's a pretty nice leather, to be honest. And then, like I said earlier, you have a toe box, which I find is definitely more rigid or more boxy than the original. But it does have patent leather on the toe and on the tongue as well, inspired by the Air Jordan 11. So as far as materials go on the Air Jordan 16, they're a solid 10 out of 10. I absolutely love these raw materials, the suedes and the leathers. So I love the look of them, and definitely a shoe in my top 10 Air Jordans list. Just a few quick details on the Air Jordan 16. So you have on the midsole, it says Jordan, and then kind of like an iridescent Jumpman here, kind of resembling the hologram on the 13s. And then on the back, you have this little Jumpman on the tab. It says 16. There is supposed to be braille here, but you can't really see it because it's white and it's not raised anymore on this retro. And then near the toe box, it says 16 in Roman numerals. And then if you take this gaiter off, like I said, it's magnetic. And I know actually MJO23 Dan has been mentioning this, but once these age, this kind of rubber piece that goes underneath the shoe, it's brittle and it just breaks. So I don't know if you could fix this with a different material, but this rubber over time gets brittle and definitely breaks. And then under the shroud, There is a Jumpman on the side. And then you do have the metal lace tips that also have Jumpmans on them. So that's one thing I loved about 90s and early 2000s basketball shoes, is they were never short on details. And here, it's not short on details either. You got the Jumpman on the bottom, again, kind of the orange braille pieces. So definitely a ton of details on the Air Jordan 16. So as you'll see in the on-court footage towards the end of the video, I actually did play with these with the gaiters on, and I've always loved the look of the Jordan 16 with the gaiters on. Whenever I wear these off-court, I always have the gaiter on. And I actually remember in 2001, Ray Allen definitely wore them with the gaiters on, and Reggie Miller did as well. But I remember a game actually where Reggie Miller was wearing them with the gaiters on, and he was running down the court and they came undone and the gaiter just went flying off his foot, which I found rather funny. But I don't mind it with it on. It does add some weight, but that's just one thing to note as well, is I do love the look of the 16s with the gaiter on. So as far as the fit goes, I would go true to size. I'm usually a 10.5 on court. I do have a size 11 for off court use, but for my basketball pair here that I wear on court, I went with a 10.5 and it fits true to size. My toe is basically directly at the end of the toe box, almost touching the end. And as you can see here as well, the toe box is kind of squared off for a more natural, anatomically correct fit. One thing I did notice about the fit on the Jordan 16s as well is, unless I really clamped these laces down super tight, I did get a bit of movement from forward to back motions as far as my foot within the shoe. It does have a traditional lacing system where the lace loops are on the inside. But like I said, unless I really clamped the laces down, my foot was sliding around in the shoe a little bit. And it's not a size thing, it's just more of a fit thing. So if you're gonna play basketball in these, make sure you really tie them tight. And just another note regarding the fit, it is a really kind of a wide shoe. I know the 16s, 17s, and 18s kind of had that squared off toe box. So just another thing to note is the width on the Jordan 16 is a little bit wide. So as far as the fit goes on the Air Jordan 16, I would have to give them a 7.5 out of 10. So as far as the support goes on the Air Jordan 16, in the heel you have a internal heel counter, which offers some nice support. It is kind of a mid-cut as well, so that's something to note. And then on the bottom, it does have a wide, stable base. It's not really an outrigger, but it kind of flares out right there on the lateral portion, as you can see. And then basically right from the toe all the way to the heel, you have a spring plate. I believe it's carbon fiber, I could be wrong, but it's definitely a spring plate that offers some spring for your step, and then obviously some really crazy rigidity as far as support goes. So as far as the support goes on the Jordan 16s, I didn't really have any issues at all. Obviously these materials being rather raw as far as like suedes and leathers, my foot did kind of come over the footbed on hard lateral cuts. But as far as the support goes, I'd have to give them a pretty solid 8 out of 10, especially this shoe being 21 years old now. I really didn't have too many issues at all, other than my foot kind of moving forward and back, as I talked about already. So that's going to do it for today's video on the Air Jordan 16 performance review. As always, if you could like, comment, and subscribe. And as I said earlier, there will be some on-court footage at the end. And as always, we'll see you next time. Peace.